Welcome back, hunters. I'm the SurvivalVis, and we return to Monster Hunter World Iceborne, where, as you can see, there's quite a bit of hair missing. Every so often I do a complete buzz cut, so don't be fooled, it is still me. You can always recognize, but I try to wear this every recording session I do. But we're back in Iceborne because of, well, both the tremendous amount of I shouldn't say tremendous amount of feedback, but the tremendous turnout of views for the slap-on weapon mod, and there were some, I think just one comment asking if I could have showed off more than just the bow guns. So as you guys, if you've watched me in any of the Monster Hunter I've done, I'm usually a bow gunner, but because of the turnout in views and the request, I have no problem showing off more of TWJon's amazing work with the slap-on weapons. So we're going to look at doing that right now. And I'm just trying to think the best way to do that, because some weapons are going to be a lot easier to show off than others, like great sword, hammer, hunting horn. The big weapons that don't like sheathe or have fold up are going to be very easy to show off. Like for instance, let's just flip using all the Kulftaroth stuff. Yeah, like to show off the giant fist greatsword, very easy. However, showing off something like the... Actually, you got a good look at the Zitsuyaku longsword there too, so maybe it's not going to be as bad as I thought for trying to show off some of these ones. And then there's the Plesioth Sai. So that's a few of the great swords, so maybe it won't be as bad. And then there's Radobon's new one. Yeah, there's going to be a lot to show off. And one of the things I will have to pay a bit more attention to is I don't have the list of what is replaced or the screenshots of what are the new ones. But one thing you can kind of tell is the textures just are a little bit different than World. Not too much, but noticeable enough that you can tell they're not quite part of the base roster. So what we'll do is, I guess, how do I want to exactly go about doing this? Maybe what we'll do, yeah, we'll start with the great swords and go into the tree. And now, when I go over these, because of how the mod operates, I will mention it again, just to make sure it is abundantly clear. There are a few different files that you should all download. The first one makes the base weapons invisible, so things like the Defender Greatsword, which was just that metal base weapon, becomes invisible. The reason for that is so that way, just how the game kind of operates using, like, the models. It's not like it uses too many unique entire models. It sort of operates like a modular system. You have the base weapon, which is its own model that is called on every single thing that uses that as a base. Then you have the parts, which are more tied exclusively to the monsters. And it's the parts which the mod uses to give these unique looks to it, so that way you can augment much easier. So that's why the Defender Greatsword might be invisible, the Chrome Razor might be right now, and the Chrome there, but if you get something, not Nergigantes, let me see. No, I think those were both in. Great Jagger's one is a prime example here. So let me just preview it and go back to list. So this is... I think it's a new one, but I'm not actually entirely sure. I'll have to actually try to find another one. That's the thing, the slap-on weapons, some of them, they look so good, it's kind of hard at times to even tell which one is and isn't. Okay, I'm pretty sure that one's not... Yeah, this is the Great Gyros tree. This is definitely one brought in from the mod. Actually, I think this is actually called Mazios's. But yeah, so how it works is, and again, I would highly suggest only using these once you've gotten to the end game and you've unlocked the layered weapon system, because otherwise you're going to have a lot of, as you can see, invisible weapons. So that's the Gogmazios, I think, for Great Gyros, which isn't too bad of a fit. It's actually kind of epic for what Great Gyros is as one. I think this one, okay, this is another one. This is actually for Lavasieth, and you can tell, like, the texture work you can really see stands out quite a bit, but the model still is very good, and it has to be quite the improvement. So I'm trying to see what else. So that was Lavasieth. Glavenus. Yeah, Glavenus is one. Okay, that one I think the texture could use some more tweaking, but this is the proper greatsword brought in for him. So we're down to Glavenus there. I'm still trying to figure this out, because this was sort of like just a fly spur of the moment, let's see what we can do. Oh! Nightshade Paolumu, that's an interesting choice. What this one is actually Kezu's greatsword as a base. You can sort of tell because what you'd normally have where... It's actually a neat effect they did with what would have been like the mouth of the Kezu. Because Kezu's weapons are all like these stitched together, Frankenstein-esque looking things. This, you can sort of see that because of the... no, excuse me there. On the stitching you can see on the greatsword. However, they changed the mouth up quite a bit to be that nice hypnosis sort of effect you sort of associate to... How do I want to say that? Associate it with, like, hypnosis in, like, just how people get hypnotized. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't do anything about augmenting those, so I am going to have to keep using this method for most things. Okay, so we'll go back to the tree, and we'll try to get a couple more. I don't want to quite show off every single one, because then we'd be here for a while, and I do want to leave something for you guys to... What else is there? I want to go check this out now. That's what I was kind of hoping would come from the... No, that one is from the game. Okay, I'm a bit surprised at that. I haven't really gone through a lot of weapons, and one of the things, too, is... The way Monster Hunter is, I guess you don't see too many of the weapons unless you play them, because they might not be meta-esque. I'm trying to think of what else is... Okay, well this is definitely one. This is actually for, I believe it's going to be Coral Pukes, but I'll have to take another check. It's called the Laguna, and usually Laguna I associate with coral. Possible, hard to say. And, oh, I think... And then Beatotus has got a definite... I really like this one, because this is as if you took that broken horn Beatotus and you just slapped it onto a handle. And that's exactly what Monster Hunter weapons really feel, is you take the parts of the monster almost directly and make them into a weapon. So we'll try to show off just a few more in this one. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is... I mean, this one I recognize because Barroth, he's kind of one of my favorite monsters. Just he's a great, simple design done so well. Well, this is his greatsword that, looking at it, I'm surprised this wasn't actually with World and Iceborne because it's nothing too extravagant and it's basically a Barroth scalp, really. So, okay, so let's find one more. Let's try to just see if we can find a really nice one. Okay, there was Acidic Glavnus. We saw Rotobons. Yeah, Brachydioses. Actually, I can't... No, I think that one was always there. Again, I gotta pay close attention. Fairly sure that one was always part. I think Zora's might have been, although I'm pretty sure I also recognize that model, too, because I'm fairly sure that's been in the series before. Come on, there's gotta be one that's really new to just kind of finish this off with. Oh, well, actually, that's a good one right there. Look at Xeno'jiiva's new one. That's a great-looking greatsword model. Yeah, I do wish there was a little bit more... I'm kind of surprised that Xeno'jiiva didn't get too many, like, super unique models. Did it actually get any unique weapon models, or were they all just parts strapped on? Because I know the light bowguns definitely were. Heavy bowgun, I think, as well. Bow. Yeah, I don't think there was actually a unique Xeno'jiiva weapon, which is weird for what was a world's base endgame monster. But that's remedied here, as you can tell there. So that was the great swords. We'll try to see what the long swords are going to be like. So, okay, yeah, defenders are all going to be invisible. I feel like that's probably been with World and Iceborne. No, that one's just Nergs. Yeah, we saw Zitsuyaku's there. Oh, well, that's actually pretty unique. So, Kuluyaku, who has a long sword, you actually have a Kuluyaku, looks like attached to the handle in a way. And, again, some texture work is really, really well done. It seems to be the one that was a little bit more... Instead of like the entire base model and texture coming forward, it was more just the model, then some texture work, but yeah, this is where the slap-on weapon mod, I can't recommend it enough. It just makes the game expand quite a bit more, because when you get to the end game of World and Iceborne, you generally just kind of pick this one look and stick with it. Here, it feels like you have a lot more variety of options because just the way the modular base and part system was. Oh, no, that's just Velkhana's regular. I should actually pay attention before I see, I don't know if that's new or not. That's one of the issues about wanting to show off the other weapons, is because I didn't know which ones exactly were or not. Okay, I feel like that's a definite new one, because I don't see Banbaro having gotten the nice shield and, like, the mini Banbaro icons on there, too. That is really nice. This is another one, again, it's definitely one I feel is raw forward, because I don't see how you would have had the shield without, and it does fit so well because of, like, Banbaro's Viking feel for all of his weapons and armor there. So Valhazak. No, I think that one was already in. Oh, here's one that's definitely been brought in, is the Acidic Lavnuses. I mean, look at the sheath. It's kind of hard. You can see the sword within all that, but I think that maybe a next step would be trying to adjust some of the textures just so they don't quite look as standoutish, but I still have to say it is fantastic to see some of these in. Like, this is, I think, the new Tobi Kadachi longsword. Actually, yeah, it has kind of a nice little glow effect too, and you can see the bit of fur down on the very bottom along with the Tobi scaling the armor has. And we'll try showing off again, just maybe one more. So where are we? Okay, that was Tobi. Viper, and this is actually another one. Viper Tobi's has a little bit of a change up from that. So it's not just subspecies got the same weapon, but a little bit of a recolor. They might have gotten completely changed up from the base too, which is another thing the mod does very well. Now, I suppose technically you could play with the mod installed earlier. It's just that you'll have to understand that some weapons are going to be completely invisible to you. Oh. Okay, no, I think Basil's was already in-game, because I feel like that one's a little... if not, it's very sharp and, again, could match... Okay, we'll use Zeno again. Yeah, there's the longsword for Zeno. You could use it in base game, you just have to recognize that until you get weapons that actually use parts, you're probably going to have some that are invisible. Like Zitzi's. The very first entry of its tree, you will get a unique model for. Huluyaku, the very first one, you will get. But then you have things such as, like the bone tree. You don't see anything else if it's just pure bones, so I recommend it again when you have the layered armor, but if you don't mind having an invisible weapon for a few hunts, and then you want to get monster, like, ones that look pretty unique. Like, yeah, I think Anjanath's here actually is. The big red plotches I don't think are exactly supposed to be there, but that's the kind of thing is, there might be some little things here or there. And Tobi's first one, you can see, the dragon bone, invisible. So that's kind of where you have to figure out on, okay, I'm okay with having an invisible one for now, or no, I don't think I quite want that. It's really up to how you guys want to do it yourselves. I think that's about everything to show off for long swords. Sword and shield might be a little bit more difficult. Again, I also have to pay more attention to see what is and isn't. Okay, well that's definitely... This is a very nice one for Kuro Puke Puke. Like using the kind of heart shield and the sword and that. What else do we got? Barioths, no, I'm pretty sure those are already in. Like, Iana's was definitely in. That was in. I don't think these were in. Like, the texture definitely looks quite a bit different, and I can't really recognize... I almost think it's another Gogmazios piece because of, like, the bolts in it. Oh yeah, this is Nightshade Palumo's. Oh! The inside of the shield has that, like, hypnosis color effect. Even things that you're not really expecting to see some detail to get. Did Puke Puke always have? No, I don't think Puke Puke had one like this. And like, this is, again, really nice. And let's scroll down to the tree. Yeah, Puke Puke's very first entry, you will get this unique look to it. Great Gyros as well. Okay, now... Now that one heavily looks much more like GOG. Again, I'm kind of in and out on what weapons I can recognize, what ones I can't. Let's see, what else do we got? Oh, that's Volcana. DODOGAME definitely got a new one, and I do like how they've... It feels kind of fitting to use. I think these might be the Narcarcos weapons, like the skeletal Narcarcos weapons. But they fit DODOGAME pretty well just because of how the entire aesthetic is with him. So let's see, that was down there. Acidic Gladness. Yeah, this is another one brought over. The texture does stand out a little bit, so it's kind of that... I'm trying to think of what the best sort of art comparison is. You know, I'd be throwing a bunch of names in the dark, so I'm not going to try to really fumble my way through that. But let's see, what does Great Jaggers look like? Yeah, that one, I think what they actually did was just kind of keep the base stuff with it, because... Well, actually, I don't know. Again, I haven't really used any of the weapon, or one of the other weapons. I've always been a gunner at heart. Okay, so what else we got? Tigrex, Brute Tigrex, an Ogre, Baroth, Glavenus's regular form. I'm guessing that was probably already in, but again, I still don't know, but some of them are very nice and striking. Okay, come on, let's go down further. See, I'm trying to find ones that yeah, we'll probably have to use Zeno a lot, but that's not even, like, that bad of a thing, because... Oh, that's actually, like, a Zeno skull. Yeah, okay, so that was some of the sword and shields. You know, let's get into the hammer and hunting horns. We should show those a little bit more focus, too. Because I did say they were ones that would be easy to showcase, so we just gotta find... I feel like that was already in. Okay, this is definitely one that's one I'm fairly sure has been pulled forward. Although, again, I could be completely mistaken. But I know I've seen this in previous Monster Hunters, and I don't think it would be tied to the workshop. Or maybe it was. Yeah, Gerardus. Okay, so the original Gerardus tree along here won't have until you hit the G rank. And you get Coral Puke Puke. No, that was already in. I'm pretty sure the flower's been consistent. Those, I think, have probably been in. Here we go. Here's one that's definitely... Oh, that actually works really well, because, like, looking at it from this angle, it does look like the Cobra head and, like, fanning out a little bit, doesn't it? But yeah, so Great Gyros, and let's head down to C. So as soon as you can get that tree, that would be one that would have the unique model to it. Nightshade Palumo, again, has this one, and looks like it's kind of hard to see because I can't really tilt the camera upwards. There's that hypnosis effect right on the head of the hammer there, where you have basically the tenderizing bits there. Okay, so what else we got? Oh, Puke Puke actually gets a interesting one to start with. Anybody recognize the teddy bear hammer? I do. This one's been back... I think the earliest I can remember seeing is Freedom Unite. So Teddy Bear Hammer is back, although I don't think you would get that in later ranks. What else can we find? Pelcanas. I don't know if that one was always in or not. Again, I do apologize for that. This is why I want to stick mostly to the bow guns, because I recognize them so well. And here's another nice one for DODOGAME. I think DODOGAME is actually the monster that's gotten the most, like, fitting weapons to it, because all the bone ones from Narcarcos look so good and fit so well on them. And we'll try to show off another one or two. Urgons, Glavenus. Okay, this is definitely a new one for Kuluyaku, because I cannot see this one having been in there, but this is some of the charm that I felt like World and Iceborne didn't quite include with the game. So there's a new Kuluyaku hammer if you want to be bashing them with an egg. And what else we got? Thor's hammer for Banvero. Oh, okay, like the Banvero weapons are another one that they're coming in really well. Like, you basically have Mjolnir here, but with Banvero for it. And that works so well. And whoever did the work on, like, the little banner icon, A+, that is very, very nice. I like even, like, the Norse runes that you have on the corners, too. No idea what they say, but the detail work, that is impressive, to say the least. Oh, and Yongaruga's hammer. It does seem a bit big, but it is very fitting for Yongaruga, because I think a lot of his weapons, which did have more unique models, sadly never got the transfer over into World and Iceborne, so this is a way to restore some of those. And let me see, so we're down to here. Oh, that's quite a bit different. Black Diablos has it, and it's... I don't know how I feel about that one, because that's a bit weird. I think it's actually supposed to be more modeled from Monoblos. Or Monoblos, but... Okay, so Black Diablos has a bit more of a unique looking one there. And we'll get down here again. Acidic Glavness, I think that's actually one that's new there. Given the texture... Oh yeah, Baroth is definitely a nice one. And it is, again, just a Baroth head on a hand on the stick, really. And maybe, once again, we'll probably just try to find our way down to... Xeno'jiiva. Oh, wow. Okay, no, I have to... So they took the Fulgur Anjanath. That is very scary and impressive for a hammer. Like, the open Fulgur jaw with the lightning effect inside is fantastic. Yeah, so this is also a way to show which weapons got the best treatment for unique models and which ones kind of fell a bit short in the, I guess, design choices. Oh, yeah, so Hammer, I guess, really got a bit more of the short end of the stick, because, like, here's Zora Magdaros, and that looks amazing. Basically smacking them with a mini volcano on for a hammer. And of course, the link is in the description to where you can find the mod by TWJon. Again, it's very, very impressive to see, like, these all brought forward. Oh, that's odd. Actually, this would have been fantastic for Great Gyros. I'm surprised it's not. This is actually for the Black Steel, and is basically like the snake mouth holding on to. Huh. Or is that... Maybe that's Kushal's, and it's just because I've never seen it used that much in-game. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's actually just Kushal's regular, which is kind of weird. I don't know why Kushal's regular is like that. Oh, that's also... I feel like that's new, but I could have sworn I've seen this before in World and Iceborne. Maybe it's been in the game before. Okay, well, one that definitely hasn't been is the Xeno'jiiva, which we'll use as, like, the capstone, and... Yeah, look at that. It's a nice spin using some of the Safi'jiiva stuff, but it ties the two monsters so much better together, because there's, like, almost no connection between the two besides the skeleton and the name. Like, where does all the orange patches on Xeno'jiiva go on Safi? That was one that felt weird. How does the tail morph so much between those two as well? It's good to see that the weapons are a nicer way to tie the two monsters together through the mod. And let's do Hunting Horn, because usually Hunting Horn's a little bit underappreciated, but there are some really nice models for Hunting Horns, like... Oh, no, actually, I think that one's been in there. Yeah, that one I think is a base one that's been with World. Electric guitar, that's one of the reasons why I want to go in through the Hunting Horns, because some of them... Like, look at the Kulu Yakus, this is nice. You actually have the Kulu head for the top of... I almost want to say, like, a cello. And let's see, Tigrex Tree, those have been in. I'm fairly sure that's already been. Yeah, this is a new one for Coral Puke Puke. And they really, I think what set the stand for the coral stuff was definitely the hammer. Because all the choices around Coral Puke Puke for weapons from the mod are all like these flower and plant based. And it does work well because of that little base of the Puke Puke hammer. They feel thematic with it. It's not just like tossed in randomly that doesn't quite line up. Oh, my bad. So that was Coral Puke Pukes. So we've got Nargas, Legiana. Nothing. Dodo gets his own unique looking one, and what a... Oh! we might have one of the best weapons out of the mod right there. You actually have like the little dodo head, and it's the top jaw of him. I think that's one of the best looking mods or weapons in the mod. Like, it does come through your face a bit because of, I guess, the very bottom of the hunting horn there, so that's a minor issue, but I don't think you're going to notice that too much when you're running and using it. It's just that you have this nice model as an option, I think, is the bigger thing. And Monster Hunter, I'm not too worried about, like, the clipping in that. Like, I think that's something some other people might get more iffy and curious about. Actually, I want to see for Dodo, because, like, is that literally... As soon as you can make the Dodo tree, you get access to that. So that's really nice. Oh, and I recognize this one. This is actually the Viserios hunting horn, but repurposed to be an Anjanath guitar. Nice choice with that one. Because Anjanath, a lot of his weapons all have like the extra spikes and bangs to it, so that doesn't look too far off, really. And that one, I think, is another one. As soon as you can craft it, yeah, as soon as you get the Anjanath tree, you can get that one. So, again, from... Oh, no. Oh, okay, now that's even better. You wanted electric guitar, literal electricity running right through it. That is fantastic. Again, I would advise, if you want them early, you can use the mod. Oh, Legion actually, really? So some of Legion's early ones actually give you a unique weapon too. It's actually more like a fish. I can't see the full thing, I'm afraid. But oh, shoot. I want to keep going because, again, the hunting horns are ones that have gotten a lot of nice, really looking models. So some of the early ones even will give you unique looking ones. Like Puke Puke's, I think, is a unique one. Yeah, I don't think the big bell was originally part. It might have been, though. Oh, excuse me. As you can tell, I've been recording for a little while here, because I'm starting to have some things there. Palumu's is definitely a new one brought in. Actually, giant saxophone, that's the kind of flavor that I think the game really lost out from its transition between Generations Ultimate and World and Iceborne. There's so much more charm that seems to have been left behind just to try to get, I guess, more like serious, toned down-ish. I'm hoping Rise brings a lot of this back. And then Nightshades is... Oh god, looks like it's eating my head in a way there. But yeah, I think the hammers and hunting horns are probably one of the weapons, or some of the weapons that got some of the real love shown for them. I think Basil's was already in there, but I might be mistaken. Again, I have a hard time on these weapons distinguishing which ones were already and which ones weren't. Vespoid tree. I think that was already in... Oh, there's a nice looking one for Radobon. Yeah, I think Radobon is the standout winner of who's gotten some of the best, like, fitting models and weapons for him. So if you're a Radobon fan, you'll really have a lot to pick through of what you could use. I think... Bracky... Oh, no, shoot. I've been playing so much of 3 Ultimate, I forget, like, the A and the B key, or A and B buttons on my controller kind of get lost to me from how I had to assign them for playing, but okay, let's look at that again. See, I don't know if that was over... Okay, no, that's definitely one brought in, because I think the clipping issue there, you can see, like, basically how it's hugging our head, is from the mod bringing it in. So that was Bracky. We'll just try to get our way down, because Zeno must have a really nice looking one, too. Oh, Namiel, I think, is that... Yeah, Namiel's gotten a unique one brought in forward. It's actually... It looks like just speakers on a stick, which still works pretty well. It's a lot more electric-oriented, which does work with Namiel's core, like, light patterning. Okay, let's see one of the big standouts, though. Let's try to find Xenogivas. Char, Namiel, Black Steel. There's Zeno. Yeah. God, they really capture that, like, alien, different one so well. I'm trying to think of what else. So we've shown off those two, we've shown off some of those. The dual blades, Is there anything I haven't shown off that well? I think We are at 30 minutes, so I'm going to wrap things up with... maybe I'll do Charge Blade. I think Charge Blade is kind of one of the more popular weapons, so... we'll see what we can show off in this area. It might be a bit harder, but... oh, wow, Gerardus actually gets a really nice one. A little bit more detail on the texture, and I wouldn't have been able to tell that this was actually one brought in from the mod. That does go to show how nicely the models fit in with everything. And, oh, Beatotus. Now, this is a nice one. They might have used the same model, like the same base for them, but like the way you can change some of the coloring in that does make them match much more. Like, this is Beatotus's. Now, Gerardus, Beatotus, and Lavasioth are probably all going to use this same model for their weapons. Because that is, I think, the Lavasioth Charge Blade from... Generations. I think, at least. I'm not too sure. What else can we find to really show off? See, I feel like that one could be brought in, but I may... no, the texture does look a bit off, so I think this Black Diablo's Charge Blade is one brought in by the mod as well. And look, that is a brute of a Charge Blade. Look at how big that sucker is. Now, I know there are some weapons that I haven't been able to show... oh. Oh, that is DODOGAME's getting a unique one. Look at that. Like, the molten core? Very, very nicely done. I won't be able to show off every single weapon because we'd be here for close to an hour. But I figure this is a good way to show off some of the major ones. Like, okay, this one you can definitely see. Texture is quite a bit off there, but I think the Tigrex's one might be a bit better. Let me just... it does stand out quite a bit more. But again, I think I'd still take that just because it's such a more unique looking model. It's not, again, just the modular system that was kind of in place. And I do think the modular system would have worked if the final upgrades on the tree were much more unique. Yeah, so Great Gyros has... we've kind of seen something like that. Rackies. Yeah, I think Namiel had that one brought in. Or Namiel had that one originally. Toby's definitely got one, a unique one. They don't quite line up as well as I think they were aiming for, but still. I just like this so much more. The final tree should have been more unique than just a carryover of how the previous thing was. Let's see, we'll work our way down to Xeno'jiiva, and that usually is kind of like a good capstone for each of these little families to show off. Okay, no, that was definitely part of the base roster. There's Shara, Zora, Kushala. There's Zeno with a really interesting one. It actually looks like that's probably the close eye of the Safi'jiiva. But yeah, it's just nice to be able to show off and have so many more unique looking options here. So I'm just probably going to browse through this quickly. I can't show off too many more because otherwise this video is never going to get up and done. But Kulu gets a unique... oh wow, look at that insect glaive. Oh, even holding a little egg. Yeah, so I'm going to leave things there. If you do want to see more of the weapons that I missed, definitely let me know in the comments. And the views, depending on it, I will do more of the slap-on weapon mod. I just want to try to get some more Monster Hunter on the channel since we are slowly approaching March and the release of Monster Hunter Rise. I do have the 3 Ultimate series ongoing that should be breaking into the G rank stuff fairly soon. But again, the slap-on weapon mod, TWJon, and all the credit to who he's worked with and who have helped him with it, it's a fantastic mod and I do really have to recommend getting it. It gives you so much more variety and option for just like making yourself like a more unique hunter and getting to show off more weapon types. Like, modding, it's amazing what potential it has. Like, I basically have my trademark look right here that I think I would love to just kind of associate with myself. I have to thank Akinusuka for their amazing work on Logiacris light bowgun. But even like with the mod, what it's done for the bowguns, you guys really should look at trying to pick it up if you can. It's one of the simpler mods to install as well. There's not really too much that's really like super difficult to it. It's basically, as long as you know where you can pull up the install location for Monster Hunter, it's basically just dropping files into it, really. It's just amazing to see what all is now open and unique. Like Banbros having the Jaggy Fire as its base with some work there. Oh, it's just... And the shield for it, too. TWJon, you did amazing work as always. But thank you guys very much for joining me on this episode of Monster Hunter World Iceborne. The links for the mod are in the description, and hopefully you guys check out and see there. If there's any weapons that I did miss, hit me a comment, let me know, and I can always try doing another video next week on the ones I missed out on. But for now, thank you guys very much for joining me. If you do like the video, always give it a like, and if you have any comments, tips, tricks, or requests, let me know in the comments right down below. Until I see you all next video, survivors and hunters alike, please remember as always to take care, stay alive, and happy hunting.